call and response. So look to your left and repeat after me. Wake up.
Wake up.
This young man has something to say. And I don't want to miss it. I thank you. Y'all are too kind. Y'all are too kind. How many of you are familiar with the movie American Gangster? Okay, I see a great deal. Well, there was a very interesting scene that caught my attention. I'm not sure if you remember, but as Frank Lucas brought his brothers up from North Carolina to New York, he began walking them through the city, explaining what it is the city is lacking and how they could be of service. They then came to a diner, and Frank said, in life, you will be one of two things, either a somebody or a nobody. That really stuck with me, and I decided to analyze the culture here at Voorhees, and I've come to find that there are two types of people here and in life that you will always have to deal with. One of those will be the dream chasers. The second, the dream snatchers. I implore you to beware of the dream snatchers. The reality is most of us will spend the rest of our lives chasing what we think is the dream, but what the truth is, it's not the right plan. Because if your plan doesn't match God's plan, it's not the right plan. I don't think you heard me. Let me say it again for those in the back that might have missed it. If your plans don't match God's plans, it's not the right plan. Too often we want to be in control of every aspect of our lives, but the Bible clearly states that trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding, but in all thine ways acknowledge him. Funny, my father would try to give me advice about things, and he would always end with, try to find the God in everything. But understand that there are some things in life that you may never understand. Most of us get caught up in the small things. Who's messing with who? Who's talking about who on Twitter? Who's signing who in for visitation? All things that are not helping you get further in life or in your degree. Missing out on the big blessings. I recently spoke to a young man, 8 years of age, and I asked him, what do you want to do with your life when you grow up? You know, the typical question most adults ask every child, but although they may never go into those fields. He said to be a basketball player. I said, okay, well, what's your backup plan? He said, I don't know, maybe computer technology. I'm really good at that. The look in his eyes gave me hope for future generations. That was until he began to play with his friends. And a myriad of obscenities came flooding out of his mouth. I then pulled him to the side and said, young man, do you not know that you are far more intelligent than you are acting? He said, I don't know. I said, do you think you're intelligent? He said, intelligent? What's that? I said, okay. Do you feel as though you're smart? He said, no. Ladies and gentlemen, our younger generations are crying out to us. But before we help them, we need to help ourselves first. This help I call the 3 C's to success. That is, having a plan that is clear, cut, and concise. Clear in its intentions, cut right to the point, and concise in every detail. This young dream chaser was in pursuit of his dreams, and somebody somewhere was trying to convince him that his dreams were unattainable, much like many of us. How many of you can remember being told, you won't amount to anything? College. You'll be in jail just like the rest of your friends. You can't do this, you can't do that. And oftentimes we give in and listen because we know no other way. But much like Job, who after losing it all, his wife said to him, you might as well curse God and die. And he said to her, you speak like a foolish woman. But I implore you on today, beware of the dream snatchers. Many of us don't have the guts to tell those dream snatchers to get lost because mainly, those dream catchers, they aren't a stranger. Sometimes it's your best friend, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your roommates. I know all too well what it's like to have my dreams snatched away from me, or almost at that matter. December 23rd, 2009, when I attempted to take my own life. This is real. And the dream snatchers will stop at nothing to cause your dreams not to exist anymore, filling your life with people that smile in your face or reaching for your crown behind your back. Cry on your shoulder, but laugh at the mess they made. Eat all of your food and have the nerve to complain about the lack of choices, although they're not even contributing a dime. Ladies, you know him. The kind that in calves, she's like, don't talk to him. But at night, after the basketball game, they're taking strolls on the academic side. Fellas, you know him as well. The kind that will swear up and down he's your right-hand man, but when you leave for the weekend, he's signing your girl in for visitation. Let's not get brand new.
Let's talk about it.
We need to stop pacifying one another and start telling the truth. Pacification is never an adequate substitute for honesty, meaning, I would much rather hurt your feelings with the truth than to pacify you with a lie. I don't watch much television these days, mainly because I don't have cable. But I can remember an episode of SpongeBob that SpongeBob was invading the dreams of those closest to him. Long story short, he ended up ruining the dreams of all but one, Patrick. In Patrick's dream, he sat on a seahorse and rocked back and forth and was content with that. As a dreamer, you can never be content or complacent because that leaves no room for growth. But something interesting came of this. I know I've been here for a minute, so stay with me, stay with me. SpongeBob said to Patrick, you can dream about anything you want. You do know that, right? And Patrick answered yes, but quickly retorted that this is my dream, and I can dream it however I want. Now beat it, SpongeBob, and he had no choice to depart. There's a substantial difference in being the change we want to see and talking about it. A lot of us talk about it, but as we say, they ain't about that life. We are all too cool these days. Everyone wants to be full of swag. But at what point does perception become reality? We don't need to have swag. We need to be swag. I see some of you are looking at me like I'm crazy. I mean be swag like instead of students with awful GPAs, we need to be students with absolute greatness. Now that's some swag I would like to be a part of. As I close, I want you to leave 5 tips with you on how to obtain that swag. Is that all right?
Let's talk about it.
Is that all right? First, one must be well-read. Intelligence doesn't just fall from the sky, so every now and then, pick up a book and learn something. Number 2, well-spoken. I was taught that you won't ever be able to sit amongst royalty unless you possess the ability to speak the king's language.
Okay.
You all with me, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Number 3, well-traveled. Get out of Denmark. See the world for what it is and stop limiting your scope of possibilities. There's an old proverb that says, don't declare your mother has the best stew if you've never been out of the village. Number 4, well-dressed. Number 4, well-dressed. I can't tell you how to dress, but just to make you aware of the consequences. People judge you based upon the 36 rule, at least that's what I was taught. The 36 rule states that a person begins to judge you by what they see 12 feet away, 12 inches away, and the first 12 words that come out of your mouth. Last but not least, and arguably the most important, number 5, well-balanced. Successful people have expectations to rise to, and you have to be grounded enough to deal with these things without feeling overwhelmed. Voorhees College, understand that we must begin to carry our own crosses before we are completely crossed out. At times, life gets us down and we play possum, which is fine. But some situations warrant that type of behavior. But the problem doesn't lie in the situation anymore. When the person becomes comfortable in that position and refuses to get up. I am challenging you to think and to dream big. And above all, never let anyone who has given up on their dreams convince you to do the same. Thank you.